Capitalists Against Crime. You're gonna record this, that's right. So.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Because I wanna do this sometime. And I actually got to talk to Rick Romney about it. And my theory is everybody's touched by crime somewhere. You know someone who's been affected, and that with that poor kid Charles Lee. I mean, it just hit home yesterday. So. I've decided that our judicial system, our criminal system, just can't handle the preponderance of crime that's committed against the citizens. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to hit the criminals where it really hurt, and that is financially for the rest of their lives, for themselves and for their families, and get some pit bull litigation attorneys and get forensic accounting experts, and whatever, and for the rest of their natural lives until they've made recompense and justice is served, and I call this justice without revenge. We will tie up every single job, garnish every single wage, tie up every single asset, repossess every single car, foreclose on every single home, and do everything to them, their families, anyone connected with them that can be possibly tied into their criminal action for the rest of their lives until they've made peace with who they have offended. And I'm going to call it Capitalists Against Crime. And I had the opportunity to chat with Rick Romney about that, and he admits it's impossible to put all the criminals behind bars, and it's impossible to help the victims. So we could be a non-profit financed by some well-to-do people who will hire the litigation attorneys and everybody else, forensic accountants and whatnot, and a person who's a victim of a violent crime or just a crime, we could analyze it, and then we could go to town and we could go after that criminal with every single resource that we could come up with. Because if you're constantly being served for one suit after another, if you're constantly having your wages garnished, if you're constantly being in the radar of everyone and anyone that's part of our organization, you're gonna screw up, and you're gonna rebel, and you're gonna miss a court date, and you're gonna get a contempt, and you're going back to jail over and over again until you make good with the victim. And that's something that I personally would like to see it, since I'm a victim of violent crime, since my daughter's a victim of violent crime, and as of yesterday, a little 23-year-old kid is in a wheelchair for the rest of his life because of a drive-by shooting. That's just wrong. This young man was 19 years old, just out of high school, and on his way to college on a full-ride scholarship, academic scholarship, and two punks in BMWs drove by and they wanted to shoot someone that day. So they shot him in the back, it severed his spinal cord, the bullet is lodged next to an artery. They cannot operate or he'll die. So this kid is in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. And to add insult to injury, the family was wealthy of the two kids, and they spirited them out of the country back to wherever they lived in the Middle East to avoid prosecution. And then the parents, who had lots of assets, put together a fake divorce, and then they each filed bankruptcy, which completely knocked out all their assets. So they couldn't even be sued to pay for the medical bills, to pay for the legal bills of this family. And I had just the sad meeting yesterday with the mother, who was asking me advice where to go for filing bankruptcy because they can no longer keep up with the medical bills and whatnot. That's just wrong. And so concept capitalism, or Capitalists Against Crime, really, really hit home yesterday, the day before. So I'm going to make that a project. That's the end of that deal. Okay.